Hi, this is Jeff Timmons of 98 Degrees.
This is Patty Page.
This is Barry White.
Hey, I'm Avril Lavigne.
This is Steve Winwood. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
You're listening to The Sounds of Christmas.
Podcast. Welcome to the Sounds of Christmas podcast. I'm Ken Kessler. If you're new to this podcast, I want to start by saying thanks for joining us. If you're not new, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Now, to avoid any confusion, I want to start off by saying there won't be any music played here. This is a place for conversation. I'll talk about Christmas music and some related topics, sometimes by myself and sometimes with guests. If you're looking for music, just go to soundsofchristmas.com and click on the tree or the player on the front page or on the Listen Now page. We play the best variety of Christmas music all year long. Well, except in October, when we play the best variety of Halloween music. Very excited to have Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees with us on the podcast today. Hi, Jeff.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it.
Now, I believe I read that you were instrumental in putting this band together back in the 90s. Is that right?
Well, look, I love whoever wrote that because it's perpetuated throughout history.
Right.
Look, I was the first one, probably naive or dumb, depending on which adjective you want to use, to start a group like this. But, I can't claim that I was a mastermind behind the whole thing. I started with some other guys, went to California because you didn't have any of the internet capabilities back then. You had to go to LA or New York to make it. And, we started getting some traction. Those guys quit. And then I ended up meeting, Nick, got introduced to Nick through a mutual friend, and he brought Justin and Drew out, who he had gone to school with. Obviously, he's Drew's brother, and that's how we got started. But as far as me, instrumental and, hey, the guys probably roll their eyes when they hear that, but I absolutely love it. I'll take it.
Yeah, I do. You're right. It's perpetuated. I see it everywhere. Where did the name 98 Degrees come from?
It's funny. We had a series of bad names. We were originally called Just Us. And then, when we got signed, the label was like, no, you guys got to come up with something better than that. And we threw around a bunch of names. Verse 4 was another one. Inertia was one of Nick's brain children that didn't quite see it into fruition. Forte was another one. And then, we couldn't think of a name. And our manager's girlfriend, who was really pretty, and her friends, they were in New York, and it was when we first got signed. So why don't you guys call yourselves 98 Degrees? And we said, sure, whatever, if you guys like it, we like it. So I wish there was a more, a cooler story behind it than that, but there's not. So.
And you guys hit the scene, came out, whatever, the music started coming out around the same time. There was some other quote unquote boy bands, but the big difference, at least one of the big differences, is that you guys wrote a lot of the music. Well,
we wrote music and we sang a lot of stuff a cappella, we were true harmony based, true quartet. We weren't put together. And, at the time we hated that term called boy band because there was a negative connotation that you don't sing live, you only dance, you're put together by some guru or a label. And that wasn't the case with us. Certainly now that we're, in our late 40s and early 50s, we love being called a boy band, or, now it's a term of endearment. Now it means you're associated with Backstreet and NSYNC, who sold 100 million records. And, for us, we're proud and honored to have that badge of honor associated with us. But no, we were different in that we were harmony-based, influenced by R&B pop music like Boyz II Men, Shy, Jodeci, all the classic groups like The Temptations and Four Seasons and Four Tops. And so we didn't like that connotation at first.
I think it was one of your early songs. Stevie Wonder joined you on that. How did that happen?
Oh man, speaking of Motown legends, for us, we were heavily influenced by Stevie Wonder and Michael Jackson and Prince and a number of others. But we were signed to Motown at the time, and Disney approached us about doing a song for the feature film Mulan. And to us, it was like, wow, to be on a soundtrack of a Disney thing, that's amazing. So, oh, by the way, Stevie Wonder's gonna be on it as well. And so we absolutely were blown away by that. And originally it wasn't supposed to be that he was going to sing on it. He was just going to play harmonica, but he heard the song. And then, of course he said, all right, let me lay down the second verse of that. Of course, we're like, absolutely. Are you kidding? So that was like a dream.
Yeah, I bet. And it was a little bit later, but then Mariah Carey turned up.
Yeah, she approached us about doing a song with her, and of course, like I said, we're influenced by Boys to Men, and certainly Mariah was a legend when she started becoming a legend when I was in high school. And so, yeah, and she's one of the greatest diva singers of all time. I mean, she's right up there with Whitney and Celine and all that. And so we absolutely were blown away by her asking us to do it. And another person that joined us on that song was this R&B star Joe, who I absolutely love. The group loves. And so for us, again, another sort of a surreal moment for us.
Are there other, not to make this all about name dropping, are there other artists that you got to perform with or wish you had been able to?
Oh my gosh, there's a whole laundry list of wish list of people that we wish we got to perform with. I mean, Brian McKnight being one of them. Of course, Boys to Men. We got to tour with them later, but we got to perform for Michael Jackson at his 25th anniversary special with Luther Vandross and Usher. So live for him. So that was like an amazing experience for us too. But there's so many people, male and female, and groups that we'd love to work with. I mean, current people, Bruno Mars is incredible. The Weeknd's awesome. So that list is pretty long.
You guys had a hiatus for a little while, and you released a couple solo albums. You toured with Jim Brickman. Again, the name dropping. Was that a Christmas tour? I know he's big on that, or was this a non-seasonal thing?
I got to tour. Yeah, we took about a 11-year break. We all just got into different things. It really wasn't even by choice. We kind of just went in different directions and started families and different career paths. But during that time, I had the luxury and honor of touring with Jim Brickman, who's an amazing artist. I mean, he's been around since before we started, and he does an annual Christmas tour, and I joined him for 2 seasons of that, which was fantastic.
I've seen video of it. I've never been able to. He's never been performing anywhere close where I could go. I've had him on before, and he's just amazing. And he's performed with so many. Let's get into the Christmas music. You guys did a Christmas album this Christmas in 1999, and it went platinum. Whose idea was that, or do you even remember?
Well, no, I think we do remember. We had wanted to do a Christmas album because at that time, although we did incorporate a lot of harmony into our music. A lot of the R&B producers and pop producers were kind of shying away from that. They wanted simpler arrangements. And so, like I said, we started a cappella, doing everything a cappella. And we thought that Christmas music, usually has, it's divided up into parts, tenor, bass, baritone, etc. And we were like, we love the music. And certainly we proposed it to our label. And of course, the label jumps at it because they see it's an opportunity for an annuity, right? Christmas happens every year. Yep. They make money from it, and they can sell it every year. And we just had incredible producers on that. Anders Bagg and Antor Birgerson. Those guys did a lot of our hits, and they just killed it with the arrangements and orchestration and that. And at the time, of course, all the critics panned everything we did, no matter what. At that time, even though it had an orchestra and traditional arrangements, they said it was, basically pop garbage or whatever. But it ended up being one of the highest Christmas selling albums of all time. And so we have that honor. And it's interesting. Although a lot of our music and hits it's still recurrent on radio and on the streamers, you see a huge spike at Christmas time and the holiday season every year on all of our social media, which is interesting. It just seems like we're associated with the season, which is amazing.
And after you went on the hiatus and you all were doing your own things, you got back together. And shortly after that, Let It Snow came out, another Christmas album 5-6 years ago.
Yeah, we're proud of that one as well. I mean, we, great arrangements on that one as well. Worked with a really great team out of Australia and had a really good time with that. We feel like that one kind of stands up. It compares to the original and Christmas album we did, and we're just happy that we have like a full embodiment of work in that space, and just very pleased and happy that we can kind of just show our wares, all of our vocal ability on that. And it's a sentimental time of the year, and so we love the fact that people can pop any of that music on and enjoy the holidays with us.
That second Christmas album had a version of The First Noel, but you guys have recorded a new version out this season. How did you decide to pick that one to redo?
Well, it's interesting because we were trying last year. I did an arrangement of "Oh Holy Night" with a bunch of guys from my group, and one of the guys from Motown, and one of the guys from All for One, and it did really well in the charts. It was like top five, and so it's just there are only so many Christmas songs too, right? That people are familiar with, and I had been messing around with an arrangement that we didn't end up putting on that last Christmas album, and a bunch of my friends had liked it and said, you should just put this one out too. So I arranged that one, and a good friend of ours named Aaron Ellsworth, who is a great talented vocal producer and arranger as well, tweaked it a little bit, and we actually recorded that in October when we were on our tour. Everywhere after our shows, we're all in hotel rooms, with equipment doing a Christmas song, and and then trying to turn it around in time to get out to the holidays. As you know, you got to have Christmas music. You're supposed to have it into the system in August. Right. So we were getting into the system late, but we really love it, and it's performing well. It just reached 10 this week on the charts, and got another week to hopefully get it up to the top 5 or even better. But we're pleased with it. We love the arrangement on it.
So when you see that arriving late in the season and still zooming up the charts, does it make you think maybe some more Christmas music might be on the way?
It just seems like something we're going to do for the rest of our career. It's something that works for us, and people seem to like it and gravitate towards it. So I don't see us not doing it. I think you're exactly right. We'll probably do more of it.
As 2024 rolls around in just another week or so, you guys hitting the road? You have new music on the way. What are your plans?
We actually just released a pre-order for our new album. So you can go to our website and pre-order our new album. On that album, we're doing what a lot of the artists are doing, namely, most notably Taylor Swift, re-recording your masters so you gain ownership of your material, right? The labels own it, and you don't really get to capitalize on where it goes, how it goes, monetize it. So we're going to recreate 5 of our masters, 5 new songs. Our first single comes out in probably mid-February. We debut at New Year's Eve on a New Year's Eve special that Nexstar is presenting, and it's called "Got You." And Nick was part of the writing team on that, so we're really pleased with that one, and excited to see what the fans think of it. It's kind of a throwback to our original sound, the ballad stuff with all the harmonies and the love elements to it, and so we're really, really pleased with it.
You gonna take the new record on the road?
I think so. I mean, that's the goal, right? The best part of it, the most rewarding part of it. Obviously, my favorite part's being in the studio, but there's a lot of gratification that comes along with getting out and performing it for the fans. And so we are fortunate to still be doing that. This last tour that we just finished was probably the best tour and best response we've gotten since 2013, when we first came back and did that New Kids on the Block Boys to Men tour. So our fans are out there. We're hoping to tour the material not just nationally but internationally as well. We've got a great fan base there, and we're just excited to be back and still blessed and fortunate to still be doing this for now going on 30 years.
Yeah, that I when I was looking up the first Christmas album, I was like, wow, how can that be 24 years ago, and that wasn't your first release? So I'm doing the math. I'm like, that's crazy. How can that be? It was yesterday.
It's like yesterday. I know, and younger people are like, yeah, that's what all old people say. But look, you snap your fingers and blink your eyes, and you're going to be there too. It goes so fast. And for us, it's been a kind of a whirlwind, and it's weird because our job isn't like a 9 to 5 where we're kind of stuck in time where you don't really do the normal things you do in life, so everything sort of just is a blur. and yeah, it's gone by. We started in 95, we formed in 95, so we're coming up on 29 years. It'll be in April of 2024, so we're almost to 30 years.
Not to put the cart too far in front of the horse, but are there plans for a big 30th anniversary tour, album, anything?
Well, the goal is to let's see how this album does in 2024, and then obviously 2025 is a big year for us. There's some talk about this big boy band tour where maybe Backstreet, maybe NSYNC, and maybe us go out. I mean, I'm not confirming anything. I'm wishing for it to happen, of course. But yeah, I mean, we want to do something really big in 2025, for our fans, but for us as well. I mean, we're celebrating, basically a family of ours that's been together for a long, long time.
What's the best way for people to keep up with you? Is it through the 98 Degrees website, through social media, through your own stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's all of the above. I mean, we're constantly on social media. We know that we were late to the game in that because it emerged after we got started, but we're getting better at it, and we certainly like to keep in touch with our fans and get the pulse on what they like, what they don't like. We've always been like that, regardless of social media. So all the social media stuff, we're on X, aka Twitter, Facebook, of course, Instagram, and our website's always a really great spot to find out what's going on.
And you guys have a YouTube channel too, right?
That's right. What we'd be remiss if we didn't have a YouTube channel. So yeah, we've got that, and hopefully we'll be putting up a new video for "Got You," which is the first single, very very soon. Probably maybe February, March of this coming year.
Okay. I'll make sure to put a link to the YouTube channel in your website. I'm assuming that on the website there are probably links to all the social media and everywhere else.
Absolutely, I really appreciate that.
Oh, sure, happy to. Anything that I've missed about either the Christmas music, the first Noel just coming out, or the new stuff that's on the way?
No, I appreciate it, man, and we're really really thankful. I mean, we just did this great thing with Talk Shop Live, which was a really cool. It's an e-commerce platform, which where we released autographed versions of vinyl and CDs that we're putting out of this album. And a lot of people were like, well, I don't have a record player or CD player. They're going to work if you do, but you get the digital version as well. I don't think they did a good job of explaining that to people. You get the digital version too. This is just kind of a collector's item. That's all that stuff's available on our website.
Oh, very cool. I'll make sure to link that too. Jeff, it's been so much fun catching up with you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, man. Continued success. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you so much for listening and for continuing to support the Sounds of Christmas station and podcast. I told you how to listen to the station, and you're already listening to the podcast, so my work here is just about done. All of our episodes are available on the Sounds of Christmas website. Just click the podcast tab. And we also have a Linktree page that lists most, if not all, of the streaming sites that carry the podcast, so you can find your favorite, click on over, and subscribe, and then you'll never miss another episode. If you have comments or suggestions on this episode, previous episodes, or the Sounds of Christmas station, feel free to reach out to me on social media or through the website. Thanks again, and may you always believe in Santa Claus.